All right, we're live. I did 100 burpees for time like 5 minutes ago, and I'm really like struggling to function. I was sick. I've been sick for about 3 days, but I've been telling myself like one of my friends said I described how I felt to one of my friends, and he was like, "Oh, so you're sick?" And I was like, "No, no, I'm running on low energy. I'm not sick because I'm the type if I say I'm sick, just everything goes to shit. Um, so today I'm doing 100 burpees a day for the year, and I hadn't done my burpees yet today. And I was like, fuck, if I don't do them today, that's 200 tomorrow. That's a bit shit. And if I feel worse, if I don't feel better, that's even worse. So I was like, okay, I'll do them. And I PR'd, and I'm fucking delighted with myself.
Heck yeah.
And now I can't breathe now, so it's great. Okay, Kelsey Kiel. Do you go by Kelsey or Kels? Because you're one on one and one on the other.
Yeah, either one, honestly.
Okay.
I go by either.
Either. Oh yeah. So if you look at this guy won an ESC Sounds speaker on the show like 2 weeks ago.
Oh,
and he's currently listening on that, which is cool. I'm going to be coughing the whole way through this. I'll hold it. If you leave, so you can leave like super chats in the comments. So I don't actually know what the minimum is. I think it's like 50 cents or like 50 of whatever your currency is wherever you live. But if you give that, you will be entered into a draw. And at the end of the show, Kelsey's going to go through the comments and pick anyone who's given a super chat. You just pick one of the names and they'll win a pair of rads. So I just need a size and an address, and the rads will get to you. I assume like anywhere. I should have checked that, but I assume anywhere. Fuck it, it's fine. There's $1. So Augustus, you're in the draw. Although some would argue you've won too much.
Is the super chat the green symbol?
Yeah. So can you see the way his comment is different?
Yeah.
The little green symbol is their members. So they're actually fuck it. We'll enter them as well because they pay every month. So anyone who's got a little green dot beside their name, so like Corey, Melanie, Augustus, they're all entered. You just wasted $1, Augustus. They're all entered automatically. And then anyone that isn't a member and doesn't want to be a member but wants to enter the draw can pay. Now you're entered 3 times technically. And Kelsey will go through at the end and she'll pick someone, they'll win a pair of rads, which is fantastic. There. Now look, he's going to give me money every month, and he's entered into the draw. This is working far better than I thought it would. Okay, you were in Ireland. You did like the 150 in like 2019, right?
2019, yeah.
Wow, what made you want to do that competition?
That was like the start. I knew after the 2019 games that I was gonna like try the individual route, and that was, I'm pretty sure, when it was like literally you had to do a qualifier that entered you into like a couple different competitions, and the Filthy 150 was one of them, and I always wanted to go to Ireland, so I was like, why not? Let's do it.
What did you think? Were you like disappointed with Ireland, like as in the country, not the competition? What were your first and last impressions?
It was okay when we went. It was like very rainy. And I know that that's kind of like normal, but it was a little bit chilly and rainy, and we had an event outside, so that didn't help.
Wasn't it like legless rope climbs, and you had to stop and go back up or something?
And you were like, touch and go rope climbs, and the chalk like became a pace, and everyone was just like flipping down the rope. It was cool. But I'm a big Dermot Kennedy fan, so I just like Ireland because I love him.
He actually lives like 2 doors down from me. No, he doesn't know what he's doing. I always get though, there's like loads, especially Americans will say like, oh, do you know such and such? Generally not famous people. They'll say like, oh, do you know such and such a person? And you'll be like, no, like it's not that small. Wait, do you mean? And you will inevitably know the person that they're talking about. And it just ruins the whole like point of arguing that no, it's not actually that small of a place. Like we actually have, like it's quite large. But yeah, it's not it's fucking tiny basically. Did you just hang around the kind of area that the competition was, or did you travel around?
Yeah, we didn't travel too much, honestly. And that was one thing that, like, when I go back to Ireland eventually, because I would love to explore more, I'll do that. But we didn't really explore much.
Is your surname Irish now, or some kind of
Polish?
like Polish? Okay, right.
Yeah, I'm half.
Is that the way it's spelled in Polish, or no?
No, my grandfather shortened it, so it was Kiltika.
Probably best. Shorten it. Good call, Grandad. I was looking at your like historical stats. You need to update this shit down the bottom.
Oh yeah, I do.
When did you put those in?
A long time ago. I mean, they're not that far off.
No.
But there's also not a lot of stats in there.
Yeah. I often wonder, are you better off as an athlete lying low or lying high? Like saying, oh, my back squat, 500 pounds, and like people would be scared of you, or saying like, oh, my back squat's only like, I don't know, 210, and then you like break out a shit ton at the like whatever semifinals or something.
And then everyone's amazed, like, oh my
God. Commentators would be like, according to our game site. So you like, you have a steeped history in team, like 5 games appearances in team. Yep. What team were you on in 2019? 2020 was. Wait, was 2019 sanctionals? Yeah.
Yeah.
Who were you with there, or where did you?
So I was with Invictus Boston then.
Oh yeah.
And that was, again, sanctionals. You had to win the sanctional. So we went to Iceland and got second. And then we went to Rouge and got second. And then we went to Paris and won that one. So that's how we punched our ticket that year. Yeah.
That was a French throw-in. Was that the year? Did Mayhem win that, but someone popped or something? Or Mayhem came second and they qualified? Something happened with Mayhem that year with like Royce Dunn's team. Was that year? Maybe it was the next year. And that girl, fuck, what the hell is her name? Blonde girl. And she popped, I think.
Oh, I feel like I remember that. But they didn't. They won it. It was something else. It was a different one.
Yeah, I don't know. I remember they were at, or they were supposed to, I don't know. Anyway, someone took drugs. So the 5 years. So run me through the teams then. 2019 Invictus, 2018.
Yeah, that was also Invictus Boston.
And 16?
Different people, but 2016 was CrossFit Parallax. It was when I was 6.
And 23 was Oba, who was 22.
Yeah, and 22. Yep.
You say OBA?
Yeah.
Oh, that's embarrassing for me, isn't it? And 22 as well.
Yeah.
Okay, so 22 was OBA and 2023 was Oba. Right, we'll hedge our bets. And of all those years, does one stand out? I don't mean the actual games. So say remove the competitive experience like at the games, but the entire season. Like, does one of those years stand out as like, oh, I'll always remember that one?
That's a good question. I would say that last year really sticks out just because that was, I don't know. I feel like I evolved as an athlete that year. And our team was just having so much fun. Even really the last 2 years on OBA, like it was just like a joy to be on that team, honestly. So probably that.
Yeah, did you know like, so spoiler for anyone that hasn't been paying attention. So you're going individual this year.
Yeah.
And you've qualified for semifinals. We'll get to your qualification process momentarily. So you've qualified for semifinals. Did you know, was there a point during the year last year that you knew? Were you going to go individual, say prior to last year, but waited, like, or was there a moment during the year where you were like, okay, I'm just going to do it now next year. This is my last year. Well,
so what the game site right there doesn't put up there is the 2020 year for me. So after the Filthy 150 in, I think it was January of 2020, so the world was still not shut down, I went to Strength and Depth And I went and did that sanctional, and I ended up qualifying for the CrossFit Games. Like that's where I punched my ticket as an individual. Really, obviously, that was kind of like when you asked the question about what year sticks out, like that was a big one for me because for obvious reasons, I punched my ticket as an indie.
Ta-da.
Yeah, but because of COVID-19 and they changed the whole qualification process, they took away the invites to national champs, which then changed up how some girls got their invite. And someone who placed higher than me at strength and depth, who had her invite through the open because of national champs, then got it taken away from her. So she had to get it a different way. And so she got it from strength and depth, and they had to take it away from me. So
Wow.
I kind of like last year, knowing that my two male teammates were kind of, they were like, this is our last go at it. This is our last year. I had it in my mind that I did. I kind of wanted a little bit of a redemption year to see just kind of what would happen if I tried to go indie.
I just so Trish commented. Are you aware of who Trish is? Trish is like an account that like just has to be satire. But she does the rounds on the podcasts and like just never like you never really know what's gonna appear like from the keyboard. Kels, how are you doing, sweetheart? I remember when I babysat you, I would leave you at the playground and go to the casino for hours. I would come back, you were still doing pull-ups. That was in the 2018 season. I am a grown woman. Yes, you are a grown woman. No one's doubting that. Loads of stuff coming in. Hughes, Kels, Kiel fan. I would love some rads while you're in the draw. Leona Byrne. Fucking hell, you could have dug a bit deeper there. You're in the draw anyway, regardless. Go Birds. Is that the Eagles again?
Yes.
Who is that? Philadelphia?
Yeah, it's a Philly football team. Well done.
Yeah, I got an American reference. Congrats. Oh, that's for the burpees. Never had any rads, just as soon try for some. He wants to be in the draw. I think that's what that means. Yeah, so just for anyone that's joining, if you put in a super chat or if you join as a member, you get you're added into a draw, and Kelsey's going to pick someone to win a pair of rads. I just like that post. I haven't actually liked that. So there's a little like for you, Kelsey. You're welcome. So that year, so you had qualified, then they had to take yours away from you because they changed the system. And is that email that I had up on screen there, is that the full communication that you're given? Or were you told, was there like an explanation of, hey, this girl got it, but because she lost it that way, now we have to take it off you? Did they explain any, like the dominoes effect, or they were just like, hey, sorry, fuck you, here's your refund?
No, I didn't get like an explanation. We just, my training partner at the time also kind of got it the same way I did qualifying, but there'd been people above him that got it through the open. And we just kind of, when we heard that the national champs were no longer going to be invited, we kind of just did the math, and I was like, oh yeah, I'm going to get my invite taken away.
It's so shit. And how come then, if 2020, why not go again individual? Was it just a tough pill to swallow? You didn't want to go through that again on your own?
I actually took a break from CrossFit. In 2020, after like the world started shutting down, I was approached by a pilot on the USA bobsled team.
Yes.
Yeah, to like go try bobsledding. So I felt like, and it was like going to be hard to make an Olympic team in like a year of training bobsled, but it kind of felt like one of those moments where it was like, I can't go to the CrossFit Games, but potentially could make an Olympic team. I was like, why not give it a shot? So I took a little break from CrossFit.
And then other people started following you. James Newby did it. Tia did it. You're like a trendsetter. Everyone followed.
Maybe.
Yeah, cool to be a trendsetter. What was that like? Was it like, because I remember hearing Shane Orr talk about it, and he was like, it's totally different. Like it's all power. It's all like little, like, you know, not even quarter squats, and it's all little, like this totally different style of training. Was it jarring moving over?
So I felt like when I was talking to some of the bobsledders that were already on the team, it almost felt like it may be like the perfect fit for me because of my size, of, you know, my explosiveness, really loving weightlifting and that kind of thing. We thought maybe it could be a good fit for me. And it was kind of one of those things that I didn't know until I tried it. And I tried it and I wasn't amazing at it. So the training was, I got to lift a lot still, which is one of my favorite things. So that part of the training was great, but I've never been an athlete exposed to actual technical sprint training and the, you know, like learning how to run. So it was almost like I had to try to learn a brand new sport and get my body to do things that I just like was not wanting to do correctly. So, I mean, I spent a summer trying to, you know, be as explosive and powerful and push a sled as fast and as hard as I could. But we knew it was going to be a stretch to try to make an Olympic team. With the USA team, there was 2 pilots, and that means there'd be 2 push athletes plus an alternate. So I was fighting for a spot, one of 3 spots. And, you know, we had ex-Olympians coming back to try to make the Olympic team that year too. So we knew it was going to be a long shot, but it was definitely fun. The actual sport of bobsled, going down the track and everything, was wild.
Is it just 2 of you in the bobsled?
Yeah, for the women's team, there's either 2-man or mono bob. They don't have the 4-man like the men's side does.
Okay, so there was no cool runnings like foursome going down.
No.
And so you enjoyed going down. That seems mildly psychotic. That you like.
Yeah.
Like, are you an adrenaline junkie?
Like we're all a little crazy. So.
Do you think the person, look how good, I found that myself while we were talking. That's fucking impressive. Did the person that asked you or that thought of you to do this, did they know you like personally? Had they seen you train? Had they seen you like, how did that happen?
No, she messaged me on Instagram. So I think it was just based off of like seeing me as an athlete on Instagram. And the rest is history. I just gave it a shot and went up to the Olympic Training Center in Lake Placid, New York. Had like a crazy wild quarantine because it was in the thick of COVID and all that. But yeah.
Look at the masks, fucking hell.
We had to, yeah, masks. All of it was wild.
Man, like I was going to say at some point, I think it's happening now. We're going to look back and be like, that was weird. When you, so like, you're obviously practicing, like you're not moving anywhere here.
Mostly a joke because the men's side, because they have the 4-man, they have to like practice getting in, and they do what's called dry loads, and so we were just fucking around in the garage.
Your head was going to get fucking taken off there if that was real. You were so slow at getting down compared to the others. You're lucky it was 2. Yeah. But when you're going down, so like, how does it work? Are they just like, hey, why don't you hop in here and just like, we'll push it down and you can see what it's like? Or is it like, is the first time you do it, like, are you practicing running and stuff, and then the first time you do it, you're literally like pelting down? Like, do you do like a safe, like slow run, like see if you like it?
No. The first time, I'm telling you, I have a video of it somewhere on my Instagram, like my reaction after the first run. And I mean, it was one of the most terrifying things I've ever done. It was insane. I don't know where it is, but I'm
never going to find it.
They tell you is like, just get in the sled, just get in the sled, just get in the sled. So all you're thinking about is, I need to get in the sled, because we pull the brakes. So if you're at the bottom,
what's the most keepy uppies you've ever done?
I don't know.
Did you play football?
I did. I played soccer in college.
You're good. Most anytime I've ever seen an American with a football, they're just suck balls with it. They're terrible. So this is impressive that you're actually like decent. That's really cool.
Decent.
Sorry, I got distracted. So when you're that's insane though, that it's just like, all right, off you go, and you just like go down. So you pull the brakes yourself. So I'm assuming the first time you did it, you were like like reefing the brakes as hard as you could.
You're not like in a seatbelt. You're just hopping in and you try to
Is
like
it,
get as
like when you go, sometimes you're on like a roller coaster and you try and, despite not wanting to, you kind of try and fight against it, and you have like weird muscles that you didn't know were active start like trying to push you back into the center of the seat. Like, were you
yeah.
sore after from that aspect of it, like from the force of it?
Oh, the G-force in the sled is insane because as a brakeman, whatever, you're flat, like your legs and your hands your head is between your legs, like you're flat like a pancake. And you try to get like as big against the sled as possible so that you don't move. People think like that you try to like go to the curves, but you're trying not to move because the pilot can feel any little movement. And then as soon as a G-force hits you, you get like sandwiched down even further. And like they always say, like if you hop in and your hand's kind of like off where you want it to be to feel secure, you're not meant to move until you feel that G-force. Once you feel that, you can kind of like shift a tiny bit because the pilot won't feel that. But the G-force pressure, like I don't even know how to explain it. It just like feels like you're just squished even more as a pancake in this sled. It
How
was
much
crazy.
control does a pilot have? Like, is it a lot, or is it just like tiny little? Do you know what I mean? I can't, like, it's not a steering
So
wheel.
they have like these D rings that are
Yeah.
attached, this whole pulley device that are attached to the front runners. And they're like, when you're talking about driving, people are like, yeah, like this. But they literally like, it can be like a tiny little like movement of their hand is like driving. They like,
So if you move at all, you fuck it up basically.
yeah, you want to be really still.
Yeah. Like, I guess they
As you get
move.
slammed into corners and you're like getting
Yeah.
thrown. This.
Like, if they move, they know they're going to move, so they can preemptively adjust or whatever. But if you suddenly like shift your weight, they'll be like, God damn it. Like, it's not ideal. Do you, that was that's only in the Winter Olympics, isn't it? The bobsledding.
Right.
It's not in summer.
Yep.
Yeah. Do you watch now? Like, are you a fan of bobsledding? Or was that just a
I
phase?
watched the last Olympics. Yeah. Because I also
Yeah.
like know the people on the team.
Yeah.
For the most
That's
part
great.
still. So that's always fun to kind of like keep an eye on that and just, root for them.
Yeah. And just be like, I would have done better.
Yeah.
Augustus wants to know who your favorite Eagles player is.
That's so hard because my
They're all
favorite.
shit. I'm sorry.
No, my favorite one just retired this year, Jason Kelsey. So,
Oh, is that why you shortened your name? Someone else asked that.
no.
I'm not going to be able to find
When they
that comment.
drafted him, they spelled his name like my name. So,
Okay.
yeah, whatever.
Rono Moto says Winter Olympics is greater than High Rocks as a backup sport. Mike Halpin, Nolan Noble, statistician to the Stars. Congrats on semis.
Thank you.
Aaron Bridgewater, looking forward. I should really read these before I pull them up. Looking forward to semis. I'll be spectating at Syndicate Crown in the East. Best of luck in the West. Very good. T Kane. Oh, that's like T-Pain. Rooting for you, Kels. Are you excited? Are you excited to be competing in the tennis stadium again? Are you?
Yeah.
You're excited for
So
Carson?
excited.
We'll get to semifinals in a minute. I have some other this is also very accurate. This is the closest some of you get to buying a pretty woman a drink and she actually answers your questions. Pedro is a great wingman. Yeah, except she doesn't actually get the drink. So it's like it's good pointless. Yeah, my husband and I saw you from across the bar and wanted to buy you a drink. Her husband is Ron. And they lived in like a RV. There's a whole like
Really?
backstory. Yeah, it's not like you piece together little bits of comments over like 3 years, and you've got a whole picture of this like
And she's in. She comes
this like real person. Doesn't come to every show because of some shows she doesn't frequent mine very often. She's on Savannah's a lot. She goes on like Shut Up and Scribble and stuff, and the comments range from sometimes incredibly lucid, like really intricate and interesting points about the methodology of CrossFit or like business or like something like where you're like, holy shit, like that was really intelligent. And then the next one she'd be talking about something her and Ron did in a hot tub in like, Honolulu or something.
That's amazing.
Congrats on making semifinals. Kelsey should sign the rads. Well, you see, the issue there is we'd have to get the rads to Kelsey and then get them back so that'd be tricky. Look, take what you get, man. Let's not look a gift horse in the mouth. I wanted to, so you put up a story like last week. You work with, I'm going to get this wrong. Is it Black Iron?
Yeah.
Nutrition? Yeah.
Yeah.
You've always been like in great shape, like in your CrossFit competitive days. I know you've put up like kind of transformation photos and stuff of you before you started doing CrossFit or started like taking it really seriously. But like I'd love to see a photo of year on year, like as a competitive CrossFit athlete, because I feel even in that like era, there's been a massive change in like physique, and like muscle mass, like just everything seems to have changed dramatically. Like, would you say that that's a fair assessment? And if it is, is it just like small little incremental changes over time, or has there been a period where you said like, all right, shit, I need to change this whole thing drastically?
That's a good question. I think that one of the biggest changes this year for me has been, really committing to going all in on the individual thing this year and really wanting to leave no stone unturned. So that obviously has meant moving to Baton Rouge and pretty much centering my whole life around the training. And, after the games last year, I took some time off. I did a lot of traveling, and I think it's really important for people, especially in the sport of CrossFit, to not just keep their seasons going all year. So for me, it felt important to travel a little bit, to take some of the time off of being in the gym for, 6 to 8 hours a day, for my body, but also for like my mental health and everything. So, I took some time off, and then I actually came back a little bit, maybe too quickly. I hurt my back a little bit. So kind of more forced time off in the fall last year. But I had the plan to move down here to Baton Rouge. So I knew that coming here, that meant I was going to be able to really be dialed in on my nutrition, on all the recovery things, all the mental sides of things. And not only that, but be pushing myself even harder in the gym because, I'm under my coach's eye every day. And honestly, that's been the biggest change for me. I'm not eating any more or any less. We did do a little bit of a cut after all my traveling and wanting to like get some of that weight off. But really, I'm running a lot. Running is a weakness of mine. So I'm doing a lot of running, a lot of aerobic work. So that has been probably another factor in my changing of physique. But I really think it's just because I'm here and I am all in doing it this year.
Is this the best like shape you've been in, would you say? Not even just like not, I guess aesthetically as well, but like physically, as in is this the best you felt at this stage of a season, or does it feel like different than other seasons?
Yeah, it both feels like the best I've ever felt and different from any other season yet. Not only like physically do I feel like I'm in the best shape I've ever been in, and thinking back to 2020 when I qualified, I feel like I'm just worlds ahead of where I was then. But I feel like I'm also putting in the work, like on the mental side of things. I have like a mental performance coach that I'm working with. I feel like I've kind of turned a corner in like my confidence in the gym too, like really trusting myself with certain movements and certain things like that. So
did you pick this thumbnail?
Oh yeah.
It's amazing.
If I make a lot of faces in that reel, so I thought that would be a good thumbnail.
That's an amazing. That's so good. So the reason you're in Baton Rouge, that's where Elle is from. That's where he lives, right?
Yeah. Yep.
And he has he has like a wife and one daughter.
One daughter. Yep.
And it seems that in moving there, you've kind of become like part of the family as well. Like that you're like a sister to the wife almost, and an aunt to the kid, and like that. There's a strong bond there. Is that accurate?
Yeah, definitely.
Because that seems to be for some like kind of a pre-marker for success. Like you look at Alex Kazan with Justin Kotler, and like there is that certain, like I think certain type of athletes like that familial sense, or they like the kind of, I guess, the sense of belonging. Like I don't know, it's probably why a lot of people start doing CrossFit, but that sense of belonging to something and like being, like that the other person is fully invested, I guess. How did you and him start working together?
That was my training partner up in Philadelphia when I left bobsled and came back to CrossFit. I definitely was not sure if I was going to be competing. I didn't really know where I was going to go, but he used to be coached by Elle, and I felt like I've seen what having a training partner can really do for an athlete. And for me, I like having someone where like our programming can sync up some days, we can push each other and go head to head and stuff. So I had like a Zoom interview with Elle, and he was like, yeah, let's try a 3-month trial. And we never really even talked about a trial. We just kind of went all in, just started working with each other. Yeah.
And then Brandon Luckett is nearby too, right?
Yeah. He's not too far. He lives about an hour away.
Another man or another athlete with an aesthetically pleasing physique. He's in ridiculous shape, like nuts. Like it's stupid. I don't know how anyone can function. I don't know how he just walks down the street. He must just get stopped every 5 seconds. The two of you going out, if you ever like leave together, you must just get interrupted like every 10 seconds down the street.
What are we?
Yeah, and so he comes. He likes. He's fond of the darkness. He's fond of like digging himself into a cave and like living there for, every minute on the minute, I guess.
Time, yeah.
And then obviously Elle coaches other athletes too. Like so, I think you had a boot camp recently. Were you at that camp? The one with like John Young was at it and Fee Gaffey was at it. I think there was a picture of you running, wasn't there? Or no?
Oh yeah, John.
Yeah. Maybe he wasn't there.
No.
Maybe they're holding him off for the big camp. They're keeping him in reserve.
John came to Baton Rouge though in October, and when Elle had a camp here.
I remember that. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, I remember him talking about how, I don't want to put words in his mouth, but how shocked he was at the intensity, or like, that he was like, oh shit, okay. Like he kind of thought like, okay, a bit of a camp, like let's see. Oh fuck, he's like, I didn't realize it's gonna be like this.
It was hard.
Yeah, he's a cool guy though. I like John. So then you're moved there this year and you're going all in, and it's we'll see what happens. The one thing I wanted to praise you for, two things I wanted to praise you for was your physique and your preparation this year, which I've done. And the second thing is how well you leaned into me taking the piss out of you missing the qualifiers for Whataburger. I thought that was astounding. Anytime I make anything about anyone, I'm like, I'll just post that and see what happens. I've been blocked by people. I've been called a bully by people. I was so impressed that you just like leaned in straight away. I thought it was so funny. And it gained, like, I instantly became like super fan. I was like, all right, I love this girl. Like she's going all the way. I'm hitching my whatever, start the wagon, whatever. It was very impressive. Like I
thought it was hilarious. Really, I was just like this. I didn't even really want to do the qualifier because of the timing. It was like I literally throw my back out a week before, and it was during the camp that Elle was having. So he was like, we're going to do them once. You're not redoing these workouts, blah, blah, blah. And I just was not in shape. And you called me out. And I was like, I promise I'll be in better shape.
Yeah, for anyone that isn't sure, so I did a fake news, like one of the first ones of the year. One of the first ones I ever did, actually, I think. And I put up, I said, "Oh, breaking news: Kelsey Kiel has announced that she's going individual for the season." And then I pulled up the Waterford's leaderboard, and I was like, "Oh shit!" And
Open
she,
position.
she like immediately jumped in the comments and was like, "Yep, fair play, I'll do better," which I thought was really impressive because, like I said, like not everybody does that. But it's good though. You seem like, obviously I can only see what's on social media. I can only see, I guess, what you want me to see, or like what you want to project out. But
Yeah.
like you do seem, I guess you've always seemed quite happy, but you do seem incredibly happy. Like, I pulled up like 3 videos there. In all of them, you're smiling. At some point, I've also seen videos of, you put up one, was it yesterday, where Elle told you to go and get on the bike. I mean, you definitely were not smiling at any point during that burpee workout, but that's burpees. But you do seem in a remarkably good place. How difficult was it? So you went individual. You did the open, went great. Did quarterfinals, went great, and then overnight the shit hits the fan, and you're out. Like, I remember we messaged about doing this, and you said, "Oh yeah, cool, like no problem. Let's just wait till next week, just in case. Like, don't want to jinx it." And I said, "Cool, no problem." And then I remember checking the leaderboard. I was like, "Oh fuck!" I was like, "I'm gonna have to message now and say, hey, don't worry." I was like, I can't not say anything. I have to say something. And then then you came back up, and you were like, so you're out of the cut line, like well outside the line, and then you came back up, and then I messaged and I was like, so when are we doing this interview? Talk me through the process there. So were you was it on your radar at all that this could happen, or did you only start worrying when you said, like, oh fuck, a lot of people are getting dinged here for points?
Yeah, it was, I mean, it was wild. I had planned a trip to go visit my boyfriend like right after quarterfinals. I was like, I'll be stress free. I'll be able to have some wine. I'll be able to like enjoy this trip. And I got there on Tuesday, and obviously Monday, when the leaderboard was final or closed, not finalized, closed for an unofficial leaderboard, I was just so fired up with, the my placement, how I did in quarterfinals, not just like my placement, but like the burpee workout, things that the gymnastics workout, those are the 2 that really stand out for me, for like just feeling really proud of myself and
Yeah.
my placement, and how, leaving everything out there, sticking to a plan, that kind of thing. And so I got out to Oregon, and Tuesday or Wednesday morning, I remember just like sitting there looking at my boyfriend. I was like, I'm doing it this year. Like, I'm like so fired up. I'm so happy, blah, blah, blah. And then Wednesday night was when they started just like nuking the girls in the East. And I just started seeing these penalties roll in, and I'm like watching the leaderboard go crazy. And that's when like the anxiety just hit full force. And I just remember just feeling like I couldn't focus on anything else. I kept refreshing my email. I kept, looking, and they had validated my workout too so quickly. I think on Tuesday they said good to go. So I was a little bit like uneasy already because I got that so fast. And seeing some of the videos and hearing just people talk about it, I was just I just felt it in my gut. I'm like, they're going to come after me. I didn't know, like, I had no reasons for them saying that. I felt like I did that workout really well. I was also really proud of that one. And I woke up on Friday morning with the email saying that I got a major penalty. And I just like, my stomach just dropped. Obviously my heart broke. I was just like, in the email, it didn't say what my new score was. So then I had to open the app. And when I saw that they had taken away like 43 reps from me, I was just like mind blown, because I didn't
What
feel as
what
though,
what position in that workout? What position were you in before that? Or do you know, like, so before the penalty, what position were you in the leaderboard? Say in the West,
in the West before the penalty, I was in 8th.
and then after the penalty.
Overall, not in that workout, overall.
And
then I got
after the penalty?
and it knocked me to 55th.
Fuck.
Yeah. And
Okay.
I was just like, I was almost like, how is this how my season ends? Like, how is this
Yeah,
the end?
disbelief has to be the first feeling.
Yeah.
Like,
And the
yeah.
fact that they took so many reps from me, I was like, how are 2 of my rounds just gone? Like, how are you saying that I didn't do good reps in 2 of my, like 2 full rounds worth?
Did it say specifically what it was? Because I know they send some people an email, and then when they appeal, they send a second email saying, "Oh, our first communication wasn't clear," or something.
Right. I have the screenshot somewhere in here. It did. It said something about my hips and knees.
Okay.
And so this is like, it's hard because I take complete ownership that I did have some no reps in there. What we learned as they were coming for people, because it wasn't alternating, you weren't required to alternate. I have a little bit of a left hip thing, so my right leg felt so much stronger. So every step up, I would step up with my right, and I would, not every step up, but like majority in, let's say round 2, I would step up with my right. My left would come and be straight and locked out and full extension, but it wouldn't bear any weight.
Okay.
Like I would kind of do that tap, full foot tap, but then come down. Right. So it was kind of like a tap down, step down. And I would do that a few times until I would switch legs and come to learn that that was what they're coming after as no reps. So I take like responsibility for those, for sure. Not all my reps were perfect, but it felt like, how are 2 rounds just gone?
So they gave you a major penalty, but then when you got back in, did they downgrade it to a minor penalty? Is that how that happened?
No, so they gave me about a 20% major penalty. It was pretty much 20% of the reps. And when I appealed, I stated my case is that I felt like saying that 20% of my reps were not good reps is a little bit extreme, and I think that I don't deserve that big of a penalty. And
the post of that, do you just type that out, or do you like say, here's a screenshot of, or here's a video clip, or here's like, do that, when Sonny Webster does the snatch, like with the green lines and red lines, right, or do you just type it out and say, I hope they believe me?
I had like a really long, probably excessively long, just like saying a bunch of things, like probably repetitive.
When I was 7.
No. But then I also, one of my training partners had an alternate angle. Her video, I'm in the background. And I have no idea if that helped. But I attached it saying, I'm seen in the background here. You can see that I'm at full extension. My leg is straight. I'm fully stood up. So who knows if they looked at that? I'm hoping that they did, because it did give a better angle than my video, I think, provided. So maybe that was also helpful on my appeal. But yeah, they gave me 11 reps back, which
was enough.
Proved to be huge for me. Yeah.
Had you all the workouts done? Yeah. That was after the workouts are over, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So at least that you weren't like distracted by, like, you didn't tank your last 2 workouts or one of your workouts because you were thinking about this. I don't know if this is a genuine question or not. Trish wants to know, what's your favorite nutrition hack to up protein intake?
Ooh.
I'm guessing it's add podium protein to everything.
I don't
just
even have
like
a product placement. No. Personally, I just like add a little bit more to the protein I already eat. Like if I'm going to eat 4 ounces of chicken, make it 5. And it just like adds up throughout the day. It's like, you don't have to go crazy and eat 10 ounces of chicken in one sitting, but if you can add a little bit to each of the meals that you have throughout the day, it's really helpful.
That has to be Soccer Mom. It's the only way I can say that. I'm a super fan of Kelsey sending arm gal vibes, strong gal vibes. Just for anyone that joined late, if you do eat more protein. Yeah, that's Trish. If you leave a super chat, you get entered into a draw for a pair of rads. If you haven't done so already. So there's actually another thing. I'm glad I didn't get to use this. I don't think I was going to because it's a bit harsh. So Morning Chalk Up on Barbend put up a photo of you and it says, of moms and masters athletes, 6 inspiring women who just unofficially qualified for the CrossFit semi-finals. And I was so close to saying, like, to do like fake news and saying she's hit the unique trifecta. She's not a mom, she's not a masters, and now she's not a semi-finals athlete. I was like, I'm gonna have to say it, but I was like, I can't say it. Like, please let her get back in because it's so harsh. But yeah, I thought that was very funny. I was like, because when I saw it, I was like, there's no way she's a masters athlete. And then I was like, you don't have kids either. Where? Like, it's like they just.
I didn't even see that. That's a long one. I only saw the Instagram posts.
It's like they Googled like stock photo CrossFit semi-finalist or something, and then just like, yeah, that'll do. Yeah, I just thought that was funny. So with the plan hitherto for or whatever, you're staying in Baton Rouge. Is there like camps and stuff now between? There's probably nothing between now and semi-finals, right? It's just like gear up as best you can, go and do it.
Gear up. I think we'll have a mock semis type of training weekend, probably now after the 10th, because that's when we get the workouts now, apparently. So
any kind of ideas of what workouts you might do between now and then? Maybe do 7 rounds of 10 hours.
Yeah.
Do you think that's legitimate?
I could see that being legitimate. I don't know. I never like. I'll let my coach, like, if he wants to program this for me to do in training, I'll do it and we can learn from it and that kind of thing. I don't know.
If he wants to program me to do this workout every day for the next yeah, you can definitely see that one as that would be your moment, crossing the finish line, looking left, looking right, and you're like, oh fuck, I just qualified for the games at event 6. That's the dream, right? So do you look, obviously because you haven't technically qualified as an individual before this, do you allow yourself to glance beyond semifinals at all? Like, do you allow yourself to imagine or to visualize or anything like that?
Yeah, I have set out a goal this year to punch my ticket to the CrossFit Games. So I've been speaking that as, people ask, how long are you staying in Baton Rouge? I'm like, through the summer, like I fully want that to happen. And I've done thus far everything that, needs to set me up for semis. And, it's just going to come down to semifinals, obviously, but I am definitely visualizing that I'm going to be in Baton Rouge training this summer for the CrossFit Games. I think that kind of speaking that into existence can be helpful, not necessarily into existence, but, just like talking like that. Like when someone says, if you qualify for the CrossFit Games, I'm like, when I qualify, like, I think that there's power in that. So I definitely think about it, and I have that on my mind and visualize that for sure.
How many tattoos have you got?
So many.
Will you get like the games logo if you qualify? It changes every year though, so you probably can't.
Yeah. No. I'll do something though.
It's interesting as well because I remember last year at the games, I remember watching the team workout with the handstand walk. And I spoke to you about this in at FitFest. But it was like obviously worse for you.
Yeah.
But it was like harrowing to watch. Like it was a hard watch to you're kind of willing the athlete, you're like, come on, this time, please, this time. So you're doing, it was like, you have to do an unbroken length, basically. And you would get, you did it like, you did it like 5 times and you were about like a third less, probably like maybe is 2/5 less than a third. I don't know. You had a small bit left to go.
Very first time there, I was like almost there.
Yeah, and then after that, it was like within a box basically every single time, and you just came down. When that's happening, like, what's going on there? Like in your head, are you like beating the shit out of yourself? Are you being sympathetic towards yourself? Are you saying like, fuck it, I'll just go and stand with my teammates? Are you like willing the clock to just beep?
In that moment last year, I mean, I feel like it was a little bit of all of it, like cursing myself out, also being like, okay, you got this, even if I didn't have it. Just like, I think a big part for me was just feeling like I let my teammates down, obviously, because we couldn't move on to the next part until I got that length of handstand walk. I feel like I actually just talked about this a little bit earlier, how like it's really important for me as an athlete to remember those kinds of times. I had a moment on the pegboard the year before. And for me, thinking back to it, like I can still like feel those feelings pretty instantly. But instead of, like you said, beating myself up or like that kind of thing, like if I'm in the gym and stuff is just really sucky, like remembering that I don't want to feel that way again. I don't want there to be something that pops up in quarters, in semis, at the games that makes me like feel that way again.
When you are feeling it though, is it embarrassment, or like what's the prevailing frustration, or like what's the prevailing emotion? What's the biggest one? Because there's a lot of people watching. That's probably the worst part. That I imagine that would be the worst
that's not
part.
great. I think just feeling like a letdown. Like after the fact, I think I felt some embarrassment, especially when people just continued to bring it up to me. Not in this, but like behind my back.
Like me in December, for example. Like 3 months later. Hey, remember the handstand walk?
No, I think it's when like people try to be like I don't want to be like remembered for that.
Yeah.
I think that's when the embarrassment comes up. But for me, it's just I don't want to let myself down again in a moment where people are watching me, or in the gym when my coach is watching me. I want to feel like I gave it my all, and in that moment when I was failing handstand walking, like I was giving it my all. But yeah, just channeling those feelings of letting people down or letting myself down or the embarrassment or whatever, and using that as like, okay, well, we're gonna bust our ass so that we don't feel that way again.
Do you think would that be easier if you're on your own versus on a team, or is it worse on your own than on a team? Do you think?
I don't know. I think that I was really lucky that I had the teammates that I had when it was happening, because I think that there could easily be teammates out there who have no sympathy or no, I guess, empathy for their teammate going through something like that. Luckily, I felt like my teammates loved me as a human, not just like a CrossFitter, so it was a little bit different. But yeah, it could be really tough if you have a team that is just gonna never forgive you for a moment like that.
Have you ever been the last one finishing a workout at a competition, like as an individual? Are you someone who, if a Cole Sager of the female world was coming towards you, like clapping, would you be like, get the you're like, oh, thank you so much, this is making it easier?
Like one of the last ones on a handstand walk event. I kind of I mean, that was nice at the Fit Fest because it felt like people were rallying behind me. And I know it wasn't like the CrossFit Games type of rallying. Like it was a different intensity and different pressure, I guess. When in 2020 at the Strength and Depth, I was near the back on the 6K run that we had to do. But no one was cheering me across the thing.
Yeah, no one's going to run back. Yeah, that's fair. There's not the kind of workout that you'd be like, I'm going to just jog back and like cheer this person on. Yeah, I just feel like I fucking hate that so much. Like if someone came over and like I don't know how I'd react. Like I'm never going to need to worry about it. But I don't know how I'd react if I was at the games or semifinals or something, and I was last, and someone came back, and I was like, sorry, so you're recovered enough to come back down towards me. Now
Like
you're rubbing that on my face, as well as everything else that's going on. You're going to come back here with your longness of breath while I'm lying on the ground, and you're going to offer words of encouragement and fucking wisdom. I can't even string a sentence together. I don't think I'd like it. Fuck it. I know how I'd react. I know I wouldn't like it. The more I talked about it, the more I realized how much I'd hate it. Yeah.
I'm hoping to never be that.
Yeah. I'm never going to be at the games or semifinals anyway. So unless I'm like the last person queuing to get in or something, and someone that was in earlier comes back, you're nearly there. There's only 2 more people. Yeah, it's FitFest was cool though. That was a cool time. Would you do that again? Do you think that's kind of the future of off season?
I don't know if it's the future of the off season, but I think it was fun. I think it was cool to I don't know, be on a team with people that I know who they are, but have never met them in person, or let alone went synchro toes to bar with them or whatever it might be. It's kind of cool.
Who was on your team?
I was with Ella.
Oh yeah.
And Pat Vellner.
Okay.
And Alex Kazan.
Yella Hoste.
Yeah. And Jack.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Good fun team.
Yeah.
It's funny, like it's such a random mix when you see the names together. You're like, you'd never put those names together. Like, they really like put the names in a hopper, and we're just like, fuck it, let's see what comes out. I loved it. It was cool though as well. Like even for, say, me, like being there, being able to talk to people that I normally wouldn't get the opportunity to speak to was cool. Yeah, it's interesting, and it's a different kind of vibe as well. Everyone was kind of like relaxed, but then, I mean, you still saw Brent like fucking pacing and like whispering his split times to himself before the high rocks thing and stuff, or the Marchand thing. There still is that aspect of like super serious, but like, yeah, it's cool in between. It's cool. Someone, I'm not going to be able to find it now. Trish is having like a full-blown conversation about accountancy with someone in the chat. I'm losing all the other comments. How the 100 burpees a day going? Going good. I've done a lot. I don't know. I can't remember. I counted the other day. However many days we are into the year times 100. That's how many I've done. You were Invictus at one point. Yeah, you were on team in Invictus. So you're from Philadelphia, and you moved to
Boston. I've been all over, but
where's Philadelphia? Whereabouts is Philadelphia?
It's on the East Coast.
Okay, above or below, like say New York?
Right below. So I could get from Philly to New York City. I could drive like, on paper would take an hour and a half, but if you hit traffic, it could take like 3.
But if you drive real fast, and so you moved to Boston. Did you do Boston? Were you in college in Boston?
No, I'm
how come you moved to? You played soccer in college. Where was that? Was that in Philadelphia?
No, that was in New York, Western New York.
Okay. Were you whereabouts in Philadelphia from? West Philadelphia or East Philadelphia?
My house is in North Philly.
Okay, so you're no use for any kind of rapping. And you went to college in New York, and then why Boston? How did the Boston move come?
So Boston came from talking to those people up in Boston who, when Grid League was a thing, I had been talking to the head coach of the Boston Iron a little bit. And he owns, at the time it was CrossFit Fenway and Reebok CrossFit Back Bay, I think it was the full name of it. But he owned those gyms, and he was looking for a full-time coach. And also it seemed like a good training environment. They had sent a team to the games in 2017. And then I was just like in a transition part of my life and thought this could be a good opportunity. So I went up there and started coaching there. And that's when they made the transition. They partnered with Invictus and rebranded as Invictus Boston.
Jason CF Media is screaming somewhere the Grid League is still a thing. No, it is not still a thing. He is.
Sorry.
He is. What's the?
The
You know, like in
Florida
a movie.
League is the thing.
In a movie when someone's like dead and the person's like doing CPR on them and like telling them to wake up, and the other characters are like, no, he's gone, and like trying to pull the person away. We're like, it's too late, he's gone, just leave it. That's what Grid League is at the minute. And Jason CF Media and Brian Friend and PC from Be Friendly had Griffin Raleigh on. They're all just standing over the body, be like, don't close your eyes, and everyone else like, he's dead, just leave him alone, he's dead, just let him die in peace. Just let the man die.
I meant the Grid League as I knew it at the time.
Yeah, what I said is still accurate. Stop trying to make fetch happen. So Boston, so Philadelphia, New York, Boston. What was after Boston?
Before Boston, I lived in Reno, Nevada.
Fucking hell. What was there? You just say you had slot machines.
Yeah, the owner of Black Iron Nutrition, I moved out there to do like kind of an internship under her, and we pretty much started the company together out there in 2017. And that was actually like my first ever go at individual.
Wow, okay.
Who
else? There's other people. Black Iron has other people. Who else is oh man, if I say the wrong name now, this is gonna be embarrassing. Is Kiefer with Black Iron or no?
Not anymore.
He does with their strength, or he used to do their strength or something. Or yeah. Kelly Baker. Yeah. Okay, cool. And then if people wanted to, how would one find Black Iron?
We are Black Iron Nutrition on Instagram.
Oh, I have it there.
Or Black Iron Nutrition.
Is this it? 44,000 followers? I don't want to bring up some rando.
It has
got like an iron and an anvil.
Yeah.
Is that it? Okay. Wow, look at that. That's a crazy transformation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's cool. I think it was probably 2020, early 2020. We started the performance nutrition track. So I'm the director of our performance nutrition team, and we have some really amazing coaches that like focus on performance. Like if you're trying to be a better runner or weightlifter or outdoor sports, like we have a range of so many skilled coaches, and that's really what I love to do, is help people with their food and fueling for their performance. But we have like lifestyle, we have pregnancy postpartum track, we got a whole gamut of people wanting to help.
I thought that was a fucking egg yolk when it was I was like, how have they done that? That is insane. Yeah, tomato makes way more sense. So is that like your job then? If you were putting down your job, would you be like nutritionist and then like competitive CrossFit athlete kind of on a parallel? Okay.
Yeah. I'm not allowed to say nutritionist because that's
I can say it. You don't have to say it. I can say it.
I'm meant to correct you.
You're a dietitian. My sister-in-law is a dietitian, and she fucking loses it if anybody says they're a dietitian that isn't a dietitian. And to see now, classic Trish. So far, like cohesive, like, you know, constructive, and then is there a dermatitis track? Ron is suffering, so it just immediately just undoes everything that has come before it. Yeah, it's impressive though. Like, so do you have a number of, like, do you know the number of clients you have? Do you know what I mean? Like specific to you, or do you do like broad stroke stuff for everyone that's on that, like oversee everyone that has clients, if you know what I mean?
Yeah, I kind of like make sure my coaches are good. I try to promote and make sure that they're filled up, so that like if I have all my coaches on a wait list, we're in a really good spot. But I have like a certain number of clients that I hold, and then make sure my coaches are good.
Yeah. Is it hard to find a balance between like, oh, I want to help more people, and, you know, like it's nice having a bit more money coming in, versus like, okay, I need to focus on semifinals now?
Yeah, it definitely is. Like, especially this year, I feel like it's been like I've been learning a little bit more on like having that balance. And what I feel really lucky is that a lot of my clients are understanding, like if I am a little bit late to their check-in, or if they send me a message and I don't reply right away, they're pretty good about like, oh, we know that she's also training full time. But I really do love my job. And so it is hard to like, sometimes I have to, yeah, just figure out that balance so that I'm not sacrificing one side or the other too much.
Brandon, favorite team she was on? Go back to the start. We talked about it at the start. Okay. We're heading towards the end. So anyone last like 60 seconds to put a comment in. If you put in a super chat, Kelsey's going to go through all the illuminated comments or any of the names in green if you're a member. She's going to pick someone that's going to win a pair of rads, and then you're going to DM me after the show, and I'm going to send your details on to Rad. Because Adam Flink is a good guy, or an idiot, one or the other. I don't know. I haven't worked it out yet. He's either a terrible judge of person or, oh wow, look, he's doing more. I may have missed this already, but what got her into CrossFit, and did she think that she was going to be competitive from the start? That's a great question.
Yeah, that's so funny because I just was like, if you had told me back then that I would be where I am now, I would have thought you were absolutely crazy. Like I mean, we talked a little bit that I've had kind of like a transformation. I was pretty overweight. I was definitely unhappy with where I was in my life. Unhappy like inside for sure. And my sister took me to my first CrossFit class and I was so bad at it that I knew that I wanted to, get a little bit better at it. It kind of like relit that competitive fire in me a bit, but I was still only doing it like 3 times a week at the start. Still like drinking a lot, partying a lot. And it wasn't until probably the end of 2015 that I thought, okay, maybe I can try to make regionals. That was kind of my goal back when there was regionals. But we kind of, I don't know, I put myself in a room with people who were a lot better at the sport than I was. And it just kind of really started taking off. And I started with Black Iron and was able to work remotely, which let me train more. And it was, yeah, it just kind of took off pretty quickly. But at first I was nowhere with this kind of brain.
What year did you start it in?
I'm pretty sure I signed up for the 2014 Open.
Oh shit, I actually saw it. This is your 10th Open.
Yeah, I think.
I saw that. I think I saw earlier on when I was scrolling that you've done 10 Opens. So in your 10th year of doing CrossFit, you've qualified as an individual, I'll say it. That you'll qualify as an individual in your 10th year. So for anyone that's just walked into the CrossFit gym for the first time today and has Googled CrossFit podcasts afterwards to drink some Kool-Aid, if you're listening to this, in 10 years, no matter how shit you think you are now, in 10 years, all you need is some tattoos, sign up to Black Iron Nutrition, buy some rads, like drink some Podium. In 10 years, you'll be there.
Have a dog too helps.
Yeah. What's the story? Your dog was sick. Was it a tumor or something? What was wrong with your dog?
He had like something happened with his salivary gland and it like blew up, but we're better now. He's actually right here.
Yeah. I'm always unsure how French bulldogs feel about being picked up. Because like, their face is just like, they go kind of rigid or something. Yeah. I have a pug and he does the same thing. He just goes like, I don't know what's happening. Emma McQuaid has a French bulldog as well, Ellie.
Oh yeah.
They're a nice dog. And your boyfriend, is he a baseball player? Was a baseball player? He's a sportsman?
He is a baseball player. He's in the minor leagues right now.
Okay. And how does, I don't know, fuck all about baseball. How does that work? Like is he at his ceiling or can he move? Is there potential to move up to the majors? How does it work?
Oh,
is
yeah.
He like scouted or what?
He is in his 3rd season in the league. So, and he's moved up every year. and he's in high A right now, waiting for the call up to double A. So it's just, it's a grind. The minor leagues is an absolute grind. They have a game every single day except for one off day, and that's Monday.
What?
And like this last Monday, they were in a bus for 7 hours to go to the next place. So it's like they go.
And are they being scouted at all those games? That's why there's so many games. Surely you're better off fucking practicing the sport rather than just playing it over and over again.
It's like their season. Yeah, it's wild. So
so he's looking to move up to triple or to double A. What does that mean? Is that like one step below the majors, or what's that?
So it just like usually goes in order, and it'll go low A, high A, double A, triple A, and then into the majors. Okay. But someone told me the other day, and if he's listening to this, he can tell me yes or no. But they said something like, if you're in double A, sometimes you can go right up to the majors. Triple A, obviously, the next step would be the majors. But yeah.
Augusta says majors, then next step down is AAA, then next step down is AA. So that's basically what you said. Think of it like the Championship League One. Okay, right. Okay, I follow. And but does he stay with the same team? Like if he moves up, is he still with the same club or same team?
Yeah, so it's the like organization, the major league organization, and then they have different affiliates at each level. So he's with the Eugene Emeralds right now, which is their high A affiliate. But then it will be a team in Richmond for double A, and then a team in California for triple A. But it is all under the umbrella of that major league team that he signed with.
And is baseball, like if he goes to majors, is he sorted for the rest of his life financially? Is it big? Like
it's pretty big. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's cool. Okay. Well, good luck to him too then. All right. Another couple of comments. Just waiting for that Strong Girls Club shirt. You actually have t-shirts out now, right?
Yeah.
Is it with Fleo?
So this is like where it's a little bit confusing. Fleo just had a drop today, and it's been like in the works. It's a collab with me that we've been working on for a while. It just happens to be right around the time that I'm also doing a fundraiser for semifinals, like travel and that kind of thing. So I have two shirts going on simultaneously. The Fleo one, and then the one that I just did for a fundraiser.
Shit, can I pause this? Hang on. Oh, fuck it. I'm trying to pause Instagram stories on this. Okay, so if I do this, so that's the t-shirt, that's the semi-finals t-shirt.
Yeah.
And then that's the Fleo t-shirt. Okay. And is there there we go. That's what I'm looking for.
Oh yes, the link.
Okay. So you can go, oh shit, look at that.
Yeah.
You've passed your goal. Amazing. So if people want to support, you can buy what color would you call that? Moss green. Oh fuck, it is moss. Oh, I'm so delighted with myself.
That was really good.
I was gonna call that like lavender, but orchid will do. So it's got Kelsey Kiel. Greetings. Oh, I like that. Greetings from Carson. Oh, the little dog. That's cool.
He's in there.
That's cool. So if anyone wants to go, I'm not going to call all that out. That link is very long. Just go to Kelsey's Instagram, and you'll find it there. All right, Kelsey, make your way through the comments there.
This is pressure. Okay.
And anyone who has a green name and the little kind of, it looks like an S, sideways S or something.
Yeah.
Or anyone that has a block around them, like the blue, the yellow, the green, any of those colors around their name. Just pick one name out of all of that.
Okay, I'm literally just going to scroll and randomly pick one. Because if I think too much about it, then I'll think too much about it. Corey Simon.
Okay. There he is. Congrats on making semifinals, Kelsey. Should sign the Rads. They're not going to be signed, so just get that out of your fucking head. So Corey, if you send me a DM after the show, just like now, basically, and I will look at this. Look, trying to influence. It's too late, man.
Sorry. This is not good for me being a people pleaser.
Comfort. The t-shirts are Comfort Color. Are they? They're really good t-shirts. Like really,
Yeah.
really, really good t-shirts. Vindicate use those as well. They're really good.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming on. It's been really, really good getting to talk to you. And thanks for everyone, like, you know, commenting and engaging and stuff. Best of luck in Carson. I know I'll be rooting for you. I'm sure everyone else will be too. It'll be a fantastic story if you get to go, and, you know, good luck.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
My pleasure.